Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Please consider liking, subscribing, and donating to the channel. Now look, Adrien Broner is in the breeze. We all know that. Eddie Hearn, still the rumors that he's trying to make a deal with Adrien Broner to fight Connor Benn. But Eddie Hearn has gone on record now and said, look, the kind of money that Adrien Broner wants, he's just not that kind of draw anymore. People don't care to come out and see him. The same as it was years ago when he thought Adrien Broner was an outstanding fighter. And he says he would sign Adrien Broner, but he doesn't want to make Adrien Broner an offer that he feels would offend Adrien Broner, because he feels Adrien Broner right now is not living in reality in regards to his demands as far as the kind of money he wants to receive if he's to sign with a promoter. Now, the thing about it is, Adrien Broner can still take a fight with Connor Benn. They can still go fight in Saudi. Eddie Hearn's not opposed to that. But the problem with Eddie Hearn is he feels that Adrien Broner is on sale and on a huge discount. And that's what he's trying to take advantage of. And when you get guys who are in vulnerable positions, a lot of guys will jump at a fight, especially when someone's going to give maybe $2 million, or maybe even 1.5 when you don't have any money at all. Now, I hope Adrien Broner can sort things out, but it looks like Oscar De La Hoya recognizes that Adrien Broner is in the breeze as well. De La Hoya's gone and took to Twitter and said, look, I love to promote you and prove that you're the American dream. Now, we know you got to take whatever Oscar De La Hoya says with a grain of salt, man. And I'm not sure De La Hoya is the best promoter for Adrien Broner, but at this point in time, Adrien Broner is backed into a corner. He really is. He doesn't have any other options, man. I mean, BLK Prime, according to Adrien Broner, they came in and saved him when the money's drying up and nobody else wanted to take a chance on him. They did, but that didn't work out. They never had their fight. There was some concerns and talks about an advance that he received and not doing right with the advance. There were some it actually got to me about him and private jets and out here spending money on women and just a lot of the things he was doing before, wasting money and making poor decisions. You know what I'm saying? Some of those bad habits he had that has plagued him. It showed up as soon as he got just a little bit of money and knew he was about to come into this 8 figures. But now he and BLK Prime have fallen apart. For those of you who are saying, why would De La Hoya want to sign him? Well, first, that's why I posted this image. Look at how young De La Hoya looks here. Look at how young AB is. AB is here in this picture where De La Hoya is helping him with wrapping his hands. There's a relationship there. You know what I'm saying? Now, do I think that means that De La Hoya and Adrien Broner should work together? I'm not saying that, but I'll tell you what. De La Hoya, he's got a plan if he can get a guy like Adrien Broner. He wasn't able to sign Terence Crawford, but you look at what goes on behind the scenes, only the fly on the wall knows. But when you see that Rocha has become the WBO mandatory for Terence Crawford, he's the next in line, so that's how it should work. But sometimes we see not the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guy becomes a mandatory. Sometimes this guy's further down on the list. That's how it goes sometimes in boxing. We got to remember the number 1 guy in the sanctioning body doesn't necessarily become the mandatory. That's how it should work, but that's not what happens. So in my opinion, when I look at De La Hoya and his reason for wanting to sign Adrien Broner, I think he's looking at making Adrien Broner fight against some of his 147-pounders. I'm not thinking that he wants to put him in there with Virgil Ortiz. I think he has bigger plans and looking to fry much bigger fish than Adrien Broner when it comes to Virgil Ortiz. But I think he's really looking at putting a guy like Broner in with Blair Cobb. Now, for those of you who are sitting here saying, why Blair Cobb? Well, I would say, why not? Blair Cobb looked very good in his last fight. We had to struggle with Rocha, but it is what it is. But he looked good in his last fight. Blair Cobb can fight. Blair Cobb has a big mouth as well, just like Adrien Broner. And there's some history there, stemming back from, 2021. Where Blair Cobb went on a rant where he was talking about giving the fans what they want, putting on a great show, and how he wants to challenge either Adrien Broner or Connor Benn. And he said he's ready to face all the biggest stars in the division. Now, we know since then he's taken a loss, but he still has those intentions, and he still has those goals and ambitions to fight the best in boxing. He went on record and said he knows he'll stop Broner. And he says the question is, will they fight me? Now, I'm going to tell you right now, Blair and Adrien Broner are fan favorites. Who wouldn't love to make that fight? You know what I'm saying? To see Blair Cobb and Adrien Broner get at it. Even a guy like Connor Benn, but right now, Connor Benn is he's kind of in the breeze and out on his own little Connor Benn island, man. You know, a lot of people don't even want to touch him. But Blair Cobb's manager is still saying that right now, look, let's get Blair Cobb and Adrien Broner in the ring together. But I'll tell you what, when it comes to AB, he's just going to want money. But I'm not sure what's going to happen. But I know De La Hoya is trying right now to get his hands on him. And I think if he can get Adrien Broner, even if he agrees to a 2-fight deal, let me tell you this. If Adrien Broner and De La Hoya could come up with some kind of agreement for just a 2-fight deal, I am 100% confident De La Hoya will put Adrien Broner in the ring with Blair Cobb. No doubt. Because what happens here when you get a fighter, it's like a wounded animal. You know what I'm saying? An animal who's wounded, it broke all of its legs. And it's immobile now. It can't get to water to drink. It can't go and eat. It's just there in one spot. It's still alive. It still has a pulse, but it needs some help. And that's what you have here with Adrien Broner. Now, De La Hoya is the guy who will come along, find that wounded animal, and say, you know what? I can help you. You know what I'm saying? And I can nurse you, and I can get you fed, and we can get you healthy and get you healed up. But there's something that you got to do for me if I'm going to come here and do this for you. And that would be where De La Hoya comes and gives Adrien Broner a little bit of money. But he's like, okay, now we got you on your feet. We're going to give you some money, but you got to do something for me. And this is where Adrien Broner, the wounded animal, all his broken legs are healed up and he can eat on his own and everything. You got to come now, and you got to go and fight Blair Cobb and another one of my fighters at 147. And that's the reality of Adrien Broner's situation. He's not even an animal that, it's not even, he's in a horrible spot. And I guess I need to do a video to see who's in the worst position. Is it Adrien Broner or Connor Benn? But at the end of the day, normally I speak very positively about fighters. I'm going to still speak positively about Adrien Broner. But my man created his own misery. He created his problem. He said he's the problem, right? He created his own problems. Not good, not good. But anyway, it is what it is. The fight actually makes sense to see a guy like Broner fight Cobb, or even go over there and fight, Connor Benn. But if he was to get signed by De La Hoya, look, it'll be very easy because he'll be contracted to him, and De La Hoya can do what he wants in his own backyard. So we'll see what happens, man. But that being said, Blair Cobb versus Adrien Broner. If Adrien Broner decides to sign to De La Hoya, look, I'm telling y'all, that could be the next big fight for Blair Cobb. And Adrien Broner has the name, and you better believe if De La Hoya is going to pay him money, he's going to use Adrien Broner's name and profile to boost the guys on his platform. So when Adrien Broner leaves, Adrien Broner leaves without anything. It is what it is. So that being said, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents. Broner and Cobb, make the fight. I'm in the breeze.